Okay, we will move along to Superintendent's recommendations and reports.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Begley. At this time, Mr. Hustle will be covering the items listed under Personnel Professional and Personnel Support.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Bagley, members of the board, I have 3 items for your consideration this evening. Under Personnel Professional, number 1, resignations, letters A and B. Number 2, unpaid leave of absence, letter A. Number 3, employment, letters A and B. That concludes all the items that I have for your consideration under Personnel Professional.
Thank you, Mr. Hustle. I'll entertain a motion to accept those recommendations.
I make a motion.
Second.
Mr. Napier, Mrs. Birding Miller. Mrs. Lee, please call the roll.
Mrs. Birding Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Clark.
Yes.
Mrs. Gundrum.
Yes.
Mr. Napier.
Yes.
Mr. Bagley.
Yes.
Mr. Bagley, members of the board, I have 4 items for your consideration this evening under Personnel Support. Under number 1, resignations, letters A through C. Number 2, unpaid leaves of absence, letters A through F. Number 3, employment, letters A through H. Number 4, support substitutes, 2024-2025. Before I conclude, I would like to recognize a few members in the audience here. We have Sue Hollingsworth. Her eyes really just gave it away. She loves the stage.
Jason is in big trouble now.
I was
told not to do that. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm going to recognize Sue Hollingsworth for her dedication and years of service to Fairfield City Schools. So I guess that warrants being in the doghouse, but I will be in the doghouse with Sue. Our offices are across from each other. Good thing I'm not in the office tomorrow, Sue. But also, sitting to her left, Mrs. Ashley Dare is our recommended candidate to replace her, and I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Lee.
So we are very excited to introduce Ashley Dare to the team. She's not new to us. She's been with the district for over 2 years. She currently is a payroll specialist working with our classified staff. She's helped us implement UKG software and other kind of technology projects within the payroll department, and we are all very excited that she's going to join the administrative team.
Mr. Bagley, that concludes all the items I have for your consideration under Personnel Support.
Thank you, Mr. Hustle. I'll entertain a motion to accept those recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Clark, Mrs. Gundrum, Mrs. Lee, please call the roll.
Mr. Clark.
Yes.
Mrs. Gundrum.
Yes.
Mr. Napier.
Yes.
Mr. Bagley.
Yes.
Mrs. Birding Miller.
Yes.